Hi, welcome to this edition of the Your Healthy Home Show. Today, I have Craig Clark, an expert in what I would describe as air quality in a home. Craig, one of the major concerns we have entering the summer months, but throughout the year, is the quality of air that families are breathing in their home. Air filtration seems to be a hot topic. A couple of questions. Why do we need to be concerned with air filtration, and what are the solutions?
Well, there are numerous solutions, Joe, with regarding air filtration, and there's almost too much to talk about in the time we have today. But what I wanted to focus on today was what within the existing home, what is the best type of filter for your home, and to make sure that the customer, the homeowner, isn't buying the wrong filtration product to control dust mites or mold spores or things of that nature. What amuses me is over the past 10 years, you've seen the progression of air filtration systems and cabinets. As a kid, no one ever thought about filtering the air in their home, and now you're almost overwhelmed. You go to a big box store, and you'll be in the aisle, and you don't know what to choose from.
Yeah. Back in the day, it was open up a window
Exactly.
and allow the fresh air in.
Back in the day, you'd have a filter like this, and these are still available.
Right.
But you can see through it basically.
Is that for your furnace or AC unit?
This is for a furnace.
Okay.
And this actually has no filtration rating associated with it. It's designed to keep big particles, big dust particles or cobwebs out of the furnace. It's basically designed to keep the filter clean.
Okay.
Keep the furnace clean. Over in 1987, ASHRAE, the American Association of Heating and Refrigeration Engineers, developed a standard called the MERV rating. It's a minimum efficiency reporting value for air filters.
Right.
And what they call, so it's MERV for short. This in particular is a MERV 8 filter. The MERV 8 rating, so MERVs will range from anywhere from a 4 up to almost a 20. And that would be considered a high-end, very, very efficient.
Excellent.
Now, a consumer should know when you're going into a store and you're looking for a filtration cabinet or a replacement filter, that a MERV 8 will solve 90% of your problems in the home, almost all of them, basically, for a typical home. Meaning it will stop mold spores, cat dander, just common allergens. Anything outside that's come into the home, this MERV 8 filter will stop it and prevent it from traveling, re-entering into the breathing stream or through the ductwork. So if that is your concern and you're limited to just common seasonal allergies and whatnot, then a MERV 8 filter is fine. You will find like a MERV 16 filter, that's for much more significant issues, and it honestly it costs more to operate the higher efficiencies. I think a higher efficiency filter would be something like this cabinet right here. This is a system that's designed to be attached to a central heating or air conditioning system. This is a MERV 13 filter. It's a 4-inch thick HEPA filter that's inside a cabinet. It's a nice tight seal, has a door on the other side. That should be sealed right into the heating system or air conditioning system, and it will trap even more. It traps up to some bacteria, Legionella disease, things of that nature that a typical home doesn't have to worry about.
So these filters are built into the appliances, whether it's an AC unit, heating system, and you've just told us now how to measure the performance of these filters that are going into these appliances.
Exactly. It's to make sure that if someone comes to your home and starts servicing your equipment,
right,
that they're not trying to sell you something more than you need.
Excellent.
I don't want someone spending money because a 16 MERV rated
right, the cost
HEPA could be $60, $70. When all you're really concerned about is pollen or mold spores. So why spend that extra money? And more importantly, if you have a filtration cabinet like this in a high efficiency, it takes a lot more energy to pull the air through it.
Excellent.
So you don't want to have more than you need.
Excellent. Craig, help me out with this. If I have a concern with air quality, what is the typical most how do I explain it? What's the most prominent problem that people typically have in their homes in terms of air quality?
The most common call we get every day, they either have there's a lot of dust in the air. They're constantly dusting.
Okay.
They may have dirty ductwork that they're dealing with,
Okay.
or they constantly have a constant drippy nose, or just a seasonal allergy type symptoms. Sometimes they'll have musty basements. We're calling about that. or they're just not sure what the problem is.
All right, and what you're telling me is to look at the source first. So if we're taking care of the source, whether it's the musty basement or it's the duct work, once that's taken care of, what else can we do as a homeowner to help alleviate or reduce or clean the air more than what it is? Is there something that we can install? What are our options?
The options are now we're talking about, so for a person that has central air conditioning or central heating, you'd want to consider having your air ducts clean. It's recommended that air ducts should be cleaned every 3 to 5 years. So once it's cleaned, you can put a nice system like this on that has you can have a filtration cabinet with a MERV 8 filter installed. That's nicely tight and sealed, and it will trap any future mold spores or dust mites from getting into the heating or air conditioning system. If that's not enough for you and you still have those allergies, then there's individual portable units that you can install that would run on a consistent basis, and it wants to be sized correctly. Again, it's very frustrating. I'll go into someone's home and they've spent a lot of money on units, but it's still not sized correctly for the house. So you want to see, okay, how many CFM of airflow that cabinet has, what size room you have. You may need 5 air exchanges to 8 air exchanges an hour.
And this is where I feel as though most of us run into this problem where we buy a unit, whether it's an air filtration unit or a dehumidifier, and we expect it to take care of the entire house or an area that is too large for that unit to handle.
Exactly.
So it's not accomplishing what it needs to, and ultimately it's end up costing you because you're running the electricity bill up.
Exactly, and that's where I wish that folks would call someone like me to help them out, help educate them into making sure that the right unit is purchased. Sometimes it's not filtration; it could be a simple cleaning that should be done first, or they may need some fresh air coming into the home to help diminish some of the particulates that are built up, or carbon dioxide, or whatever it could be, something in addition to that. So it's not always a simple fix by just putting an air filter in. It's designing it correctly. This filtration cabinet in particular takes care of the airborne particulates, but it also takes care of VOCs. It has an activated carbon with UV lights, so it takes care of even more. And I deal with a lot of individuals with chemical sensitivities that need additional filtration, not just the HEPA filtration or the carbon filtration.
Excellent. Craig, this has been a tremendous amount of value in terms of information, and I know folks who are watching or listening to this, when you walk into a store, these numbers, the MER value and the units of measurement in terms of performance, it's usually, it doesn't make sense. So
right. So I think for a standard home, a MERV 8 filter is what I would put in my home, is what I have in my home. It takes care of every of the common allergens that 95% of the folks are dealing with right now. Anything more than that may be costing more than you need.
Excellent. Greg, thank you. Appreciate it.
Joe.
And I'll definitely get you back on the show. And thank you for the information.
Great. Thank you, Joe.